Hey guys, welcome to the Sunnydale Diaries, a podcast where I, Melanie,
And I, Sean.
watch and discuss every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. A reminder that Sean is a diehard fan of the show and has watched it several times. I am not and have not. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Tonight we are going to discuss season 4, episode 6, Wild at Heart, which deals with betrayal,
Heartbreak.
duplicity. So let's talk about it
Okay.
tonight on a very special episode of the Sunnydale Diaries. Sean,
Yes.
have you ever cheated or been cheated on?
I have not cheated. I haven't been cheated on. I was accused of cheating.
Oh.
Yeah, my last girlfriend in college was convinced, like in her mind, I was cheating on her.
What was her evidence?
None. She just had feelings.
She just had a feeling.
Yes.
Female
This was like
intuition.
before smartphones, not like there was anything on my phone or anything. We worked together. We were both orientation leaders at school.
Okay.
And she
knew something was off with you, Sean.
I mean, not saying that wasn't true.
You weren't 100% invested in this relationship.
And it wasn't like we were like dating for years. I think it was like a month.
Whatever. She knew there were red flags. She just didn't know what they were.
But yeah, she was convinced. And I was not. I was a good boy.
You are a good boy. I have experienced both sides of that conundrum.
Mm-hmm.
And neither side is good.
No.
They're both awful.
There's a reason they call it cheating.
Yeah, it's bad. I cheated on my first real boyfriend ever. And my friend Jason, who listens, he knows all about this because he was there for the whole thing. I cheated on him twice with two different people. And I've since, like, within the last 10 years, called this person to apologize sincerely for treating him that badly.
That's nice.
It was the first time in my life I had ever really had any attention from boys. So I did not handle it well. And so if a boy showed interest, I was like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Let's go.
This guy over here that loves me, whatever, he'll be around. But yeah, I cheated on him. Oh, horrible.
Was this high school or college?
Yes. No, I think it was my senior year of high school. Yeah. Okay. And then the second time it was right after graduation of high school, I think. And then, but thus started a line of horrible relationships throughout my life. And so I got paid back. The cheating, been cheated on, of this story. This person was the person I was dating before I met, before Drew and I started dating.
Afternoon Delight.
Afternoon Delight. That's right. He was so cute. So cute. And very charming. And it was, looking back, no, I'm not going to say it was my fault. But there were plenty of red flags that I ignored and was in denial about. But yeah, like so much so that I think, like he was, one of these on the phone, like if I started coming over his shoulder, put his phone down.
I remember you telling me that.
I saw his phone one night. He like ran into the house and his phone was there and it was unlocked. And there was a text message from a girl saying, "Do you want me to come over?" And I just was like, pretend that didn't even happen. Bad. And then when it really, because I was talking to you when it was happening, we went to Disney World for his daughter's birthday. And the daughter told me, I don't want to tell you this, Mel. But she was like 7, 8 at the time. Because I feel like you're going to break up with my dad if I tell you. And I was like, what? And she's like, oh, he went out with this other girl. And I was like, well, were they kissing? And she says, yes. And so we broke up at Disney World. And
And then
then
you
I
just
had to
drove home
spend the whole
together?
day there with them because I had driven my car. I should have just said, "Find a ride home."
If if he was not with her.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the worst day.
Mm.
That
I
was awful.
remember.
It was like literally 10 minutes after we walked through the entrance gate.
Mm.
And I said, so did you go out with another girl? And he just looked at me and I was like, and he said, can we still be friends? I was
Ugh.
like, no.
Ugh.
Anyway, tell me about your heartbreak.
I remember when you did, before we get to my heartbreak,
Yeah.
I remember when you were done with him, you and I went out and we went to Village Inn and it was free pie night. And we both got pie and it was like the richest pie. And we were both texting each other because we were like practically sick later that evening because this giant piece of pie that they gave us. Do you remember this? Yes. Oh, it's so bad. I remember
No.
we sitting there, just like, oh.
Well, but we were together, so that's good.
The heartbreak I was thinking about earlier today as I was getting ready for this episode was my high school girlfriend
Yeah.
breaking up with me. It may actually have been this specific weekend. 32, no, 31 years ago, 94. Um, I was clueless. I had no idea it was coming, and she broke up with me over the phone.
Ouch.
And I remember just I was bawling on the phone because I just had no idea, and my first relationship, and I didn't want it to be over, and I just remember
Oh,
not like sobbing, but I was pretty upset.
mm.
And like, I had a little picture of me and her, like one of like the photo booth pictures,
Yeah.
in my glasses case because I used to carry my glasses around in the case, and that, and she had made me like this little pin, which was like a little like figure of me made of thread that she had made, and that was in there. I just remember pulling it
Oh.
all out. And,
Oh.
yeah, and it was tough because we had classes together, we had after school activities together.
School time romance.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was. I mean, I think like by that was Friday. By Monday, I was okay. I mean, it was still hard, but like we remained friends. Like she is, other than Maria, who we had on the podcast, she is like maybe one of three people from high school that I still communicate with.
Mm.
Like she came over when I was with Mike. She had come over to our house. We ran into each other in the supermarket like 5 years later. I'm like, and we were both living in the same town. Like, "Oh, come over," and like she knew I had come out to her already, so she knew I was with Mike and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Oh.
was yeah.
Poor young Sean.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. Tried it one more time in college, and then she's like, "No, you're cheating on me." And I was like,
That's
"No,
crazy. That's crazy.
I'm done." What about your heartbreak?
My first heartbreak was the first boy that I kissed, and he was kind of like a serial dater. This was in 10th grade? 10th grade, I think.
He was Parker.
Yes, he kind of was. He kind of was. He was like this super smart, very creative, artsy, rebel nerd guy. And he had already dated a couple other girls, and then he turned his attention to me, and then he turned his attention away from me onto one of my other friends in our group. But yes, oh, we used to write notes. We had like a notebook, a composition book, and we pass
Mm.
it back and forth with notes, which were mostly song lyrics. He would write me meaningful song lyrics, and I would write him back meaningful song lyrics. He was very creative, if I didn't mention before. But anyway, um, yeah. And then when he wasn't interested anymore, it was hard. And I was like, "Can I have the notebook, please?" I could tuck it away in my box of memorabilia. And he gave me the book back, but he had torn out all the pages of the
Oh.
meaningful song lyrics. And then he put one song lyric, and it was like this bitter, love died lyric to some song I didn't know.
Mm.
That's cold. That's cold.
Mm.
That's cold.
Yeah, no. I think I still have she had made me a mixtape. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I think yeah, I still have my tapes. We don't need to
yeah,
play them on,
me too.
but I still
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah,
them.
yeah.
And one of the songs I remember was The One I Loved by REM.
Yeah.
That was on there. Good stuff.
Yep. Oh,
I still have notes that she had written me again in my box of
yeah,
memorabilia
yeah, yeah,
sitting
yeah.
in the
Yeah, I got the
garage.
whole thing. Yeah, yeah. Um, did you say you have not broken anyone's heart yourself?
Not that I'm aware of. No,
I'm sure there's someone out there. The
I'm sure
girl,
there
the
was
girl you
someone.
cheated on, but not really.
Yeah, yeah. It was just. I mean, like I said, it wasn't a long relationship. We went on a couple of dates. I remember we saw the Truman Show
Oh,
in the
yeah.
movies, a couple of dinners, but yeah, it was not meant to
It
be.
wasn't meant to be for that and
No,
so many reasons.
no. And then I think after we broke up, then I went out with a guy and we went to the movies.
Mhm.
Went on a lot of movie dates, and saw Can't Hardly Wait,
So good.
which both Oz and Veruca were in.
Veruca was in that?
According to IMDb, she
What?
was. I mean, you think about how many background people there were in that
Pause this
movie.
episode.
And she was
Not
Paige
that I don't
Moss.
believe you. I just want to see. She what?
Okay. She was Paige Moss.
Paige Moss. That's who it is. Oh, that's Amber Benson. Amber Benson
Who
was
was
in Can't Hardly Wait.
She was also in Can't Hardly Wait. Yes.
Oh, is this her? Yes. Okay. Yep. Here's her and Seth Green. Oh, and a picture of her in her little lingerie. Visit.
I really need to rewatch that movie. I love that movie.
Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That movie is like, for me, what I think like 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink was for you.
Yeah, you think so? All
Yeah.
right. Let me see if I can.
Yeah. We have this vast age difference. So.
Oz and Veruca go way back. Yeah.
There's someone else from this episode that goes way back with Seth Green. Do you know that? I'll hold that for the episode if you don't
All right.
know.
You should.
Okay. I have a multimedia presentation.
For
If I
this
could,
podcast.
yes.
I'm very excited. Okay, so yes, she played the mean girl Ashley in Can't Hardly Wait, which also had Amber Benson in it. That
Hmm.
I didn't even realize. There's a lot of famous people in that movie. Jason Segel's in
There
that movie.
really is. Yep.
We were talking
Oh,
about that
what's
last
his
time.
name? The vampire father in Twilight.
Michael Sheen.
No, that's not it.
Oh no, no. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Not Michael. He's the yeah. Okay. Uh oh, what is his name?
I don't know, but I think that's gonna be the cover image for you.
Oh, you're so happy that I'm so expressive.
Yeah.
Peter Facinelli.
Yes, him.
Yes. Yeah, but who else? Okay, so
Jennifer Love,
Jennifer Love, Ethan Embry,
Ethan
who I
Embry,
love, Charlie Korsmo, who's an attorney now, Lauren
Melissa Joan
Ambrose.
Hart. Yep. That's right, Lauren Ambrose, Melissa Joan Hart.
Okay. Anyway, can't hardly wait. Check it out.
Good movie.
So,
You ready to get into the most fun, hilarious episode of Buffy the
yes,
Vampire
it was a
Slayer?
laugh riot.
My heart.
So, this is funny because Sean, you had to remind me of when I met Seth Green and he made a comment about, "Oh, I'm about to break your heart." And I
Hmm.
just laughed at him because I thought he was talking about my heart being broken from when Willow cheated on him and they had their little break. But no, that little so and so, Seth Green, we're going to have words.
I think this may be the saddest episode to date.
It's very sad.
Like I was thinking of like sad moments that have happened, and like the whole like
Kendra
Angel
Kendra
becoming
dying.
Xander dying, all the Angel becoming evil and being such a
Awful.
mean, vicious, but awful, but not like this.
Yeah.
Even like Cordelia almost dying when she caught Xander and Willow cheating. It was sad, but it didn't have that heartbreak feel.
All previous face crumpling moments were
They
nothing
they don't no, they don't
compared to
compare.
this.
No. So we open up.
Well, my prediction, let me just say, was pretty good on this one.
Again, yeah, you
I
nailed it.
hit
I
it.
think
I hit it.
I think you really did.
Well, because the title
Um,
gave you a lot. Wild.
yeah, it was a pretty descriptive title.
Yeah.
Um, I did like how they set up the Veruca storyline over a course of a couple of episodes, and it was interesting watching it from your point of view because the first time that she appears, she's with several other people, and when I saw her, and like Oz passes them, maybe it's like her band, and like he turned around and she turned around. You didn't even comment on that the
No.
first when it first happened. You just said he walked by a group of people and got a weird feeling.
Yeah.
And then in a previously on, they show that same scene, but it was focused in more on her.
Oh.
And then then it becomes obvious after that. So I thought it was interesting how it wasn't obvious right away. How how they set
It
that
is
up,
good that
and
they
it was
did it so subtly, and because if they would have tried to squash that all in one episode, it wouldn't have been good. Wouldn't have had the same punch.
Mhm. Speaking of punching,
Yeah.
we open up with Buffy chasing the vampire and fighting.
The vampire, yeah, and nobody notices this. Was she
No,
was she chasing him or was he chasing her? He was chasing her.
he was chasing her. You're right.
So some dude, you can't tell on his face, he's a blur, is chasing this girl through campus, and all the people around her doing campusy things. Nobody turns around. Nobody gives any indication of this possible murder about to happen
Yeah, you're right.
because we're in
You're right.
Sunnydale. That kind of stuff happens all the time.
Yeah. What kind of campus did I go to?
Yes, exactly. Who's going to this school?
So they're fighting. She provides a little witty pun of "You're
Yes,
going to get heartburn."
yes, yes,
Her painstakingly
yes,
thought out puns,
yes.
and she stakes them. And then the point of view shifts, and it's looking down at Spike, watching from above, and he gives one of his
You're like,
speeches,
yeah, you better not da da, because the big bad is back. Da!
and then he gets tased.
And I loved the tase effect, like the sparkly laser zaps
Yeah,
that were
yeah.
drawn in with MS Paint.
And that's fate.
And so yeah, so he's zapped and he gets dragged off by the mystery masked military people that we've been seeing and still
Good
don't know anymore.
alliteration.
Thank you. And then we have the credits.
Yep. We open in the bronze.
Yes.
And they're talking about how they're adults now. They can do whatever they
And
want.
what they
It's
want to
great.
do is go to the
Go to the
bronze.
bronze. Yep. So it's Xander, Buffy, Willow, and Oz. And, they're just having their little chat, and then Giles is there.
Not weird at all.
No, I love his line. Latte, anyone?
No.
Oh, so they are still serving coffee.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because the
Not
pastry
only
case is
coffee,
gone.
not like crappy coffee house, 1995 coffee house single brew coffee. They've got like a coffee bar with espresso
Bar.
drinks. Baristas back there, not just some, slacker 18-year-old.
Right, just pouring a cup of Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. A cup of Joe. That's right. So then they're talking about Giles says, I haven't been to a gig in a while.
Did you happen to catch Oz's face when he said that?
Since I've been to a gig.
Oz's face is just so placid through everything. I don't I what?
It wasn't. He had a
He did?
reaction. He had a like, whoa, he said
Oh,
that kind of thing. It was like, oh wow.
and just like,
He-
I'm down with the new music. I'm
I like
down.
Sabrina Carpenter.
It's like a Drew and I say to each other, yeah, I'm young, I'm hip, young and vital. No, no, far from it. Poor Giles. Very awkward. But who's on stage?
Veruca.
Veruca and her band, Shy. Their band, that's a real band. Like, that's a band called THC.
Really?
Those are real songs by a real band.
Okay.
That's not Paige Moss singing. That's her
I kind of
doing a
figured.
horrible job of lip syncing.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
oh, it's awful. My least favorite parts of this whole arc is anytime she's on stage singing.
Yeah.
The songs I'm not crazy about, but just her acting out the songs are just painful.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Um,
a little too much.
Oz is noticeably entranced.
Mm.
Like Buffy sees it, Willow sees it.
Well, has that look again, like she
Hmm.
had the last time
Hmm.
when Veruca was singing that, like, what is going on? I don't like this, and
Hmm.
I feel so bad.
And then she's like, "Oh, they're good," and he says, "They're nothing special." Oh, okay.
I
Uh,
don't know.
and then Buffy says, "Yeah, they're Kel Fiona."
Yeah, what does that mean?
Oh, you don't know? Oh no! Somebody write in and tell us what that means. Kel Fiona. Is that like
Oh, I thought you knew. The way you were
no,
saying it, I thought you were gonna school
no, I
me.
don't know.
Did you Google? I didn't
I
Google.
didn't pause this episode. All right, let me see. Kel Fiona. Kel means witch. She's Kel Fiona on Reddit Buffy. The first person says it seems she's making a reference to Fiona Apple. No, I
I
don't think so.
don't think so.
It's Buffy's bad French skills appearing again. Kel or Kel usually translates as what, like Kel's surprise. Oh, what a. But Buffy's using it like such a, as Veruca is such a Fiona. Yes, it's a Fiona Apple reference. Why is that a Fiona Apple reference?
I don't get it.
What a Fiona Apple. Hmm.
I like Fiona Apple.
I did too. I
I
don't get
had
it. Does anybody know? Anybody?
let us
What
know,
do you guys
please.
think?
Email
Um,
us at the Sunnydale Diaries at gmail.com.
thank you. Giles is not helping. He's impressed with the band. He's just happy to be there. He's just not
He's got an ear for music. I
well,
could tell.
and Oz said that too. He's seen Giles's albums. Uh, let's see. Oh, and now we cut to
The next morning,
naked Willow and Oz in bed
all
together,
snuggled up.
snuggled up.
Yeah,
She's talking in her sleep. It's
it's
just
so
a
cute.
band blaster.
Do you talk in your sleep?
Oh, surely I do. My husband does. He doesn't
Yeah,
never
you
say
know.
to me that I do, but I think I do. And yeah, he talks in his sleep sometimes.
Did I ever tell you the flapjack story?
I don't think you did. Why don't you tell us
Okay.
all?
So
Story time with Sean.
we had just bought a new couch. This is a long time ago. It was like 2000, 2001.
Long.
And we were on it watching TV. It was like it had like recliners built in. So Mike is like completely reclined, and it was late. It was probably after midnight, and he's like kind of up but also falling asleep.
Hmm.
And it's like eyes closed, doesn't open them once. He goes, "I'm gonna flip like a flapjack." Flopped over onto his stomach. They had no recollection of saying it the
You
next
didn't
day.
remember that?
No.
Did you hear any sizzling noises when he flipped over?
No, no
He
sizzling.
didn't do sound effects? Oh, okay. That's
So
amazing.
she's Willow's talking to Sandblaster, then she starts just making all these other funny noises. She's awake at this point.
What did she say? What was the thing? All Geminis to the raspberry hats. Paging all Geminis.
It was so cute.
It was very cute. And then they just seem so in sync. There's nothing weird going on. Everything's good. um,
And
then
she
they're
was
talking
not.
about how Oz is going to be wolfing out for the next few nights, and Willow's fine because she's going to go check out the campus a Wicca group. They're
Mhm.
having a what they did you call it orientation?
Orientation, yeah.
Orientation.
She was interested in some sexy time that night, but then realized, well, that's not going to happen because
Because he's wolfing out.
it's full moon. Yeah, yeah.
Um, So, do you remember having a campus Wicca group?
Yes, I had a feeling you were going to ask me
Oh,
about that.
okay.
I remember specifically because my friend from high school, Susie, that I went to college with, um, she rode with me one night because I had a chemistry exam um, one evening that was the same night as the Wicca group meeting, and she was going for that group. So, yes, one did exist.
Interesting.
Mhm.
At Stony Brook.
I mean, yeah,
Not at the
it was
University of
it was
Miami
New
that I
York.
knew of, and not at the University of Florida that I knew of,
Hmm, hmm.
I wasn't down with the new stuff.
If there was one, would you have gone?
If I would have had someone to go with me, yes. I would have been interested in it, but I would have been too afraid to go by myself
Yeah,
because I'd have to
that's
talk
fair.
to people.
Yeah, I get it.
So anyway, Oz again, they're very sweet, and he says he's gonna miss her.
Mm.
Then we're outside somewhere on campus, and Oz is kind of walking down the sidewalk and bumps into Veruca, who's sitting at a table. Is she a student there?
They haven't established that, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay. So she's eating her humongous lunch, which was one hamburger and some fries, I think. um, it reminded me of when I was working at the hospital in Gainesville, and there was a Chick-fil-A because the hospital building was connected to the University of Florida Veterinary Sciences building, and they had a courtyard with a food court and stuff, and they had a Chick-fil-A. So I went to Chick-fil-A, and at the time, you couldn't get a combo meal with fries and coleslaw. You had to like order your combo meal and add on one of those things. And of course, I wanted both. So I went and I had my combo meal with my extra side and my drink, and I was sitting outside eating and enjoying. And some dude came by and he said, "Are you going to eat that all by yourself?" Now, the tone is important here because I've thought about this in the 30 years since it happened. Do you think he was saying, "You fat cow, I can't believe you're going to eat all of that by yourself"? Or was he saying, "Are you going to eat that by yourself? Would you like some company?"
Okay, I think it was the latter.
I think about it. I don't know.
I'm sure you
I don't
do.
know. It just plays in my
Sure you
head that
do.
he it's like Parker in her dreams. I just play it over and over again. Anyway, so he bumps into Veruca having her combo meal at the table there. Um, she also has the worst posture for sitting at a table to eat. Here, I'm going to reenact this for you. Okay, so this is you're sitting at a table and you're eating. This is Veruca.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
her elbows are on her knees under the table. So I don't know if
yeah.
she's using her hands to eat or she's just like eating the burger at eye level, at mouth level.
Right.
I don't know. This is like one of the that's one of the least important parts of this show, this episode, but I give the most focus to it. Let's
I
see.
like it.
So then they're talking about music and amps and her performance and what kind of amps are they using. And then Willow shows up. And she's so cute and awkward and she's like, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" Music stuff you wouldn't understand. "Oh, I love when Oz talks about the biz."
Yeah.
trying to engage. And then they're talking about all the different amps, um, and the names for these amps. It was like such gobbledygook tech speak. It
Yes.
was like a what is this?
Wasn't there like an Elvis reference?
Yeah, she said. Okay, he says. Let's see, Blue Voodoo, Johnson Mill, Redbone, and Hound Dog. Those are the
Hound
kinds
Dog
of
has them.
and the amp. Those are the amps. And then Willow's like, "Oh, I love that song, Elvis." Hmm.
And then I was like, it's an amp. I mean, he didn't say it mean or
No,
anything.
he didn't. He's
But
like, how could you be expected to know it's okay? But then he's like, "All right, I gotta go." But he showed up 5 minutes ago saying, "I'm waiting for Willow."
maybe they're going to walk to class together. Or maybe he was going to
Oh,
walk out of
but
her.
then when
I
you
don't know.
say, "Come on, honey, we have to go." No, he's like, "I gotta go." He's out and leaves the two girls there together. Not
For
smart,
the most awkward 20 seconds
right?
ever.
Right? And then Veruca's like,
Yeah.
"I gotta go too." And then
Nice
she
shirt.
leaves her whole meal there.
Yeah. I liked Willow's shirt. I thought
I
it
did
was
too,
cool.
and I was like, she says that so like she's Veruca's like, "Nice shirt," or whatever,
Yeah.
and then
With
she's like, "My
disdain.
shirt," like she's been panicking over this shirt. I was like, your shirt's fine. I don't.
We did skip a scene.
Oh no.
It's the first time we see Buffy with her kerchief.
Oh, that's right.
And Professor Walsh wants her to lead a discussion group
Yes,
next episode.
yes, because she did
Next
so
episode.
well on her.
Next class,
Yes,
not next
yes,
episode.
she did so well on her paper.
Yeah, good for Buffy.
I know, and even Willow was like, "You make me jealous of you academically."
And she was starting to feel it a little
Oh,
bit.
she was, but she knew it won't last. 2.8.
That one
That was luck.
time.
All right, and then we
um,
have the Oz Willow Veruca weirdness,
yeah.
and then Willow is confiding in Buffy about it. She's very concerned, rightfully so. And then Buffy's like, "In a couple days, it's gonna be like Veruca who."
Yeah.
Exactly. Oz just isn't the type to stray, and I wrote foreshadowing. Damn it! No.
Yeah, it was something, and I know we've talked about it before, but it's communication. Like Buffy tells Willow, talk to Oz.
Yes. Even
It's
Xander
just,
says it later.
yeah,
Yeah.
just communication is the foundation of
Which is
relationship.
pretty funny that Buffy is saying that to her, because Buffy, the girl of internalizing and not sharing and asking for help from anyone. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm up to season 4 of the Vampire Diaries now, so I've made it
Wow.
through. Yeah, I've made it through like 66 episodes. I think
Wow.
it's getting rough.
Yeah.
We are approaching the shark on the water skis.
I
Um,
know it was a few weeks ago when you were complaining to me about it. So
and
you watched so
same
much
thing
better.
going on there with like the two of the main characters. Just talk to each other.
It's more dramatic.
No, it
It's a
absolutely.
plot device, but it's
No, it
annoying as hell.
absolutely. Yeah. Oz goes into a crypt because I remembered he locked himself up somewhere, but like, well, he can't go to the school library; it doesn't exist
It
anymore.
didn't. It didn't occur to me that it was. Or I didn't process fully that it was in a crypt. All I saw was him in a cage in some kind of a dungeon, brick dungeon, and I was like, because of course there's just random cages around Sunnydale in caves.
Yeah, sure.
And whoever built that, like, okay, so it was a crypt where they were going to probably put someone after, right? Like a mausoleum.
Yeah.
So that cage was the bars on that cage were like somebody just that was like a low bid job right there.
Yes. Yes. Well, he knows he's a werewolf. He has friends who are into the supernatural. You would think they would have planned and like maybe analyzed the structural integrity
Right.
of this
Right.
crypt to say,
Right.
you know what, maybe
But they're
this
like
isn't,
now he just takes care of it himself, I guess. And although I
you
guess
know,
Willow was gonna be there with him initially.
yeah,
Yeah, because when he finally breaks out of the thing, it's like two good shoves.
yes,
And that
and then
metal
he's out.
breaks. I know. Stupid. Um so and I also made a comment about how he has to remove his shirt when he knows he's
I,
gonna wolf out. He doesn't take off anything else, he just takes off the shirt so we can all check
yeah.
out those Oz pecs with the tiny nipples.
He did look good, I gotta
He's
say.
got a good
I didn't,
body
I
with
didn't
his
remember Seth
tiny
Green
little
looking like
man
this.
boobs.
When we meet Seth Green, I'm gonna play that clip for him.
Me saying that he's got tiny man boobs and tiny
Yes,
nipples.
yes.
We see his nipples a lot in this episode.
Stop.
It's very wait, I got one more. I get it. It's niptacular. Nippalicious. She's so hot. Burgalicious.
Oh my god.
Today's the
So he's full wolf form, running through campus,
Yeah.
and he runs into Professor Maggie Walsh.
Yes. Yes.
And
He's all
he
wolfed
goes
out,
to
and
a
I have to say his wolf costume in this episode is pretty good. It's
yes,
much
much
better
better
than
than
it's been
we've
in the
seen.
past. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he runs into Walsh, and then she hears oh yeah, no, she's walking, she hears the rustle of the bushes.
Mhm.
And instead of just like turning around, she's hello. Again,
Hello.
hello.
We haven't had the random hello in a while.
Hello. Yeah, and so okay, so then there's Oz in wolf form, and then she's running and runs into another wolf who is obviously a girl wolf because she's got long blonde hair.
Very pretty. Yes.
So yeah, okay, so this is she's surrounded by these two wolves, and she gets out of the way, and the wolves attack each other. The next
I
day, oh what?
I liked when she threw her briefcase at Oz. Like that's gonna do anything.
Well, I thought of that too, and I was like, you're in a panic.
You're
What are
panicking.
you gonna do?
I mentioned earlier that I had there was another connection of two actors that I wanted to
Oh yeah, who?
share. Lindsay Krause, who plays Maggie Walsh, and Seth Green were in an ABC after school special in 1985 called I Want to Go Home,
Oh.
where she kidnaps him.
Oh.
And I have a little clip.
Oh, good.
Change of plans, my boy. We're going north, into God's country, to the best campground ever.
But doesn't Dad think that we're going to the cave?
He knows. I told him while I was waiting for you.
I know how much you love after school specials.
I do. There was one that had, who was in it? I want to say Brooke Shields, but I don't remember exactly. But it was a story about two teens that they wanted to be together, but there was animosity between the families because the guy's mom drunk drove and ran over and killed her little brother or something years ago. And so they wanted to be together, but the parents, and she killed the brother and blah, blah, blah. And there was a scene where the brother's like, oh, the mom tries to kill herself, the drunk driving mom. And the brother or the boyfriend is all, upset and everybody's trying to say it was an accident, she's fine, no sympathy for her. And the girlfriend is like, yeah, she whatever. And the boy's like, no, she puts 2 pills on her nightstand. And so she wakes up and she saw that there's only 1 pill. She knows she took one, didn't take another, don't take another one. It was not an accident. I think about that all the time with my medications. That after school special, like, did I take my Lexapro? I need to put the
You
pills
need
on my.
you need the old person pill container like me.
I have one, but I only use it when I'm traveling. I don't use it every night.
No,
I
I
know
use it every
you
day.
got to do it.
Yeah.
Old people, we're old people. We say we're down with the new stuff, but we're not.
Somebody had posted a meme, and it was it's from a future episode, so I can't say too much,
Okay.
but it's Spike on the ground, passed out,
Yeah.
and it was like the tagline was like he had one too many at the club, and it reminded me of when we went out for New Year's and I passed out at the club. If there's other things in the image, I couldn't send it to you.
I
But
want to do
I'll
a
tell her about it.
reenactment of that. Of that episode in our lives, Sean. I need to set up a camera and hire some extras. But I'm gonna
So
do
need
it,
the
and then we'll
nurses.
feature it in a little bonus episode here.
Sounds good. So back to the episode.
Sorry, back to the episode.
So the wolves are fighting.
Yes.
And then it's the next morning, and as usual, Oz wakes up naked next to naked Veruca.
And he's all scratched up.
Yeah.
There was some wolfy loving going on.
Is that when you texted me? No. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I felt for you.
Yes.
I really did.
Yes. Not a fan. Not a fan.
No.
Don't have a lot more to say about it. Don't like it. Like it even less than when she cheated on him. Because they've already been through it.
Yep.
And they were together and they were doing it and making it work and they were so happy.
Mhm. As they often said on Riverdale, I thought they were Endgame.
Jeez.
So
Okay,
there's
so then Oz is definitely bothered by this. Oh, so okay, so then we have this scene between the two of them, and he's like really upset that this happened. And she's like, why? Be the animal, you know. She's like, and you know what it reminded me of? Freaking Faith, and how Faith was so like into that role and the darkness and the violence of it, and was so like,
yeah,
why don't you just accept it? This is what it is. You
yeah,
can have
what
fun
a
with
great
it if you
deal.
just give in to that same
Yeah.
exact thing, you know, except now it will be your wolf. Be the wolf you always wanted to be. She's just really into it. She is jazzed. And the same as like later on where she's like, I'm buzzing when it's, you know, it's about to happen. That's how Faith is after her kills, you know, like
Yeah. So let me ask you.
okay.
Let's say that it would have stopped there, and Oz goes to Willow and tells her what happened. Did Oz cheat? I mean, yes, physically
Physically
he
he
did.
cheated. If he's telling the truth, and I had a moment where I was like, is he telling the truth? Because we've had people in this show say they don't remember things that happened even when they did, right? Like Xander being the
Right, right.
soldier. If he's telling the truth and he really doesn't have control and doesn't remember when it's wolf form, I don't think so. Because his
That's
intention was not to. He's still devoted to her.
still
So
loves
I don't
her.
think so.
Okay,
What do you think?
that's that. I was thinking the same exact thing. I wanted your take on it.
I think not that I'm, you know, saying that it's okay for, you know, a guy to step out and have, you
Right, right.
know, or your partner to step out on you and just have relations without you knowing it. But I think the physical act not as meaningful, but I think there's more like in the heart, you know, that kind of cheating, giving your heart to someone else is worse than just
Mhm.
the carnal act.
Yeah,
You
I
think?
agree with you on that.
No, I think some, and we've talked about this. Some people, we talked about it last episode. Is it possible to separate the two? And
Hmm.
probably for some people, not for me,
Right.
right? But yeah, so woof. I did also make a note. Oh yeah, she's like she can't believe he stays in a cage. You know, she's all about being free and
Great.
whoever she
Yeah,
is, which is surprising that we haven't had more wolf attacks in town.
you're
We
right.
haven't heard about that previously because you'd think she'd be out there slaying left and right. Um, and then she's like, you know, we belong together, like Mary's like.
Ugh.
I also did notice they're in the laundromat and she's complaining about the clothes in the laundromat. She did manage to find a very cute matching lingerie set that fits her
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yep. Oz did not do as well.
No,
He was in some preppy clothes that just did not work for him.
no, it was fine, just not on him.
You know.
It did look comfy
Uh,
though.
it did look comfy. Yep. On back on campus, Professor Walsh is telling Riley that she was attacked by wild dogs,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
Buffy just happens to be walking up then
mhm,
and is listening in,
mhm.
and then Walsh is like, "Do you have a question?" And she's like, "No, I just want to say howdy."
It was just moving the plot forward a little bit.
It's a little bit.
How can we get them all to know and Buffy knows they know?
And we need to get Mark Lucas and Lindsay Krause's like contracted time in the episode.
We're short 3 lines. Come on. Get them on the campus
Howdy.
hallway.
Uh,
So
at
yeah, so that's
Oz's,
it for that scene.
you know, at Oz's dorm,
Yep.
Willow shows up
Yep.
dressed very differently than typical Willow. I gotta say, she looked
She
damn
looked
good
good.
in those
She
leather
looked good.
pants. Leather pants and like a dark
It was like
top,
a
and
Jimi Hendrix shirt.
yeah. I Oz immediately noticed,
Yeah.
and he's wearing something different too, and Willow made a comment about like me in my head always thinking, and like, oh, like me.
Yep. And he's like, "You can stop." Just
And
smile. Don't worry. Stop being sad.
she wants some sexy time, but he's tired. Red flags.
I know. That's big red flags.
Yeah.
Is it? Is that what it means? Because later she goes to Xander and asks him about this.
I mean, he's 20, 21.
Yeah.
I would say for that age,
Yeah.
yes. Middle of the day sex. You're not tired for that.
He's just
On
not
a
that
school
into you.
day? On a school day, Melanie.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So she leaves. She's sad. She leaves. Then we're at Giles's house, and he's watching a quiz show on his TV, which has moved to the center of the room now.
Yes.
Further descending into unemployment, slothful.
Bachelor life.
Yeah. Knock knock is Buffy. She tells him about the werewolves, and they're gonna check it out.
Yep.
Then Willow is at Xander's basement. Sad, so sad. And she needs advice about Oz, which I thought was very interesting. She's going to Xander about Oz's cheating.
Yeah, but I mean they've grown up together.
Yeah.
Like I think they've already established since kindergarten. So she doesn't have that many people to go to. So
I guess.
yeah, I do think it's a little weird because they had their little
thing,
fling.
yeah. But he gives good advice. But he says, "Go talk to Oz. You have to talk to Oz, and then you're gonna feel better. You just go talk."
Mhm.
Which, yeah, good advice.
I liked when he asked, "Is it Wild Monkey Love versus Tender Sarah
McLachlan
Love?"
love.
Especially since her music was featured in the show.
Yeah, that's right.
Back to the crypt, Oz is reinforcing the doors to the
Oz
cage.
is a master welder. So then Buffy comes in and she tells him about the 2 wild dogs and asks him if he remembers anything. And this is where he's talking about how he doesn't remember anything that happens when he's in wolf form. I don't know. Maybe not. That's what I said. He lies to her and says he doesn't remember.
Yeah.
Then Buffy's going to go on patrol and look for the other wolf. And she makes an observation that he seems more monosyllabic than usual because she knows something's up.
Mm-hmm. Hate it. Then we get the Veruca singing montage. Oz looking perplexed. Willow looking distracted. And it ends with him making a phone call.
Yep.
We find out it was to Veruca. She goes to the crypt. He pulls her in, closes the door.
No. He doesn't just pull her in and close the door. She's like giving her whole speech, whatever. She's like, "I'm not getting in the cage," and she gets to the cage, and she's obviously trying to seduce him. And then he like grabs her. It was a very awkward grab and kiss moment. Like he wasn't Rico Suave in that movement, I gotta say.
No.
Looked painful.
Yep.
But yeah, he grabs the back of her head and he pulls her in and kisses her very passionately. And then the door closes. You see the 2 human hands and the awesome special effect where they wolf out together.
Yeah.
And they're both locked in the cage.
The next morning, Willow is just like hopping
This
down
might
the stairs.
be where I texted you.
Yeah, I can see this.
This might be where yeah, because her heart breaks.
This impacted me more. She's just hopping down the stairs, bouncing along, and then she sees the 2 of them together and just drops what she had. Just the shock and the horror on her face.
Tears.
It hurt.
Tears bad.
I had to lock her in there with me. No, you didn't.
Typical excuse.
And I didn't have a choice. You could have told somebody.
That's right. Right.
And then he compares it to her and Xander, which she did wrong.
Salt in the wound.
But that, like you said, they were past it. And
no bad.
So bad. So she runs off. She's wandering around Main Street set number 1 and just walks into the path of a car.
Yeah, but you missed the part where when he's arguing with Veruca and she's like he says leave. He tells her to leave and then he yells at her to
Yes,
leave.
that's
Like, whoa, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Jerk. Okay, so yeah, so then she's walking down the street. She almost gets hit by the car, but Riley jumps out and yanks her back and saves her. Buffy saw it happen. She was across the street, and then she says, he's like, you need to take her home, and he says, whatever happened is not worth hurting yourself. True.
Yeah, I liked his line. It was put the blame where it belongs.
That's right.
Don't hurt yourself.
Yes. Now we're back at her dorm room with she's got like a full-size Dingo's poster on her wall.
Yep.
Can we get a full-size Sunnydale Diaries poster, like a Vistaprint? Who
Of our
makes these
logo?
posters?
Yeah, Vistaprint. I'm sure that back then you can go to Office Depot. I had a friend, Sharon, who were in college who worked at the copy center at Office Depot. She could have printed some up for me at the time.
We should get one.
All
I
right.
think we should get a couple for the pod.
Just of our logo, just like a giant poster size of our logo. All right.
Or a Dingo's Ate My Baby poster with our logo in the corner. Brought to you by.
I don't know. I think it should be a big Sunnydale Diaries. Brought to you by Dingo's Ate My Baby. Dingo's Ate My Sunnydale Diaries.
I like it. So she let's see. Oh, Buffy is there, but she's gonna go find Veruca. And then she's like to Willow, "Don't hurt yourself." But Willow's face in that scene, she looked a little cray to me. Like she was just like so blank with this weird little smile almost. But I was like, oh my God, if anybody's gonna hurt themselves, this is the time and this is the girl. I was like waiting for that scene to come next, that something else bad was gonna happen. But yeah, oof.
I mean, think about your first love, which is really what Oz was for her.
Yes.
And for it to end, I mean, not saying it ended, but for that to happen, I mean, she spiraled and
oh my gosh. If I were Buffy, I'd be like, I can't leave her. Call Xander. Somebody needs to come sit with this girl. Don't leave her alone. Yeah, she's on watch. Then Buffy goes to Oz's room. And it seems like she's putting that stuff aside because she's mission goal oriented. She's like, we gotta go find Veruca. So he's gonna help her out. Then we see Willow in the science lab. Working a spell against Oz and Veruca.
A dark spell.
A dark spell. Yeah. Very emotional. And she's pissed. Yeah. And it's working. How do you know it's working? Everything starts floating.
Yep.
The
Erlenmeyer flask was in the air.
Then we see we're in the woods and Buffy's got a trank gun. They are following Veruca's scent. But then they figure out that she was trying to throw them off. They found her clothes in the woods and they're like, oh my gosh, Willow. Yeah. Then they're running back to Willow and the perspective shifts again and we're behind a bush and it's one of those weird masked guys jumps out and trips up Buffy.
Mm-hmm. Let's pause for a moment here. So we've been seeing a lot of the masked military men, as you called them earlier.
Yes.
They went after the vampire at the end of the very first episode of the season.
Yes.
They tased Spike.
Yes.
What's going on? What's going on with these masked military men, Melanie?
It must be.
A lot of them.
Why do they want? Well, they must be being dragged off to some kind of headquarters or something somewhere, right? Like a lab, a science lab, but a big one, and they're holding them prisoner for some kind of science experiments.
Okay.
So, but is it a branch of the military? They're all armed. Yes, I'm going to say just like what's her name, Clea Duvall. Was it Clea Duvall? Yeah. In that episode, how they took her off to that weird military, whatever,
Yep.
spy school.
Mhm. Yep.
Same kind of thing.
Okay. I notice I always go, okay.
Yeah, you do.
Interesting.
All right. So that guy trips her up, but she keeps going.
Mhm.
Then Veruca walks into the science lab and finds Willow, who she canceled the spell or something. Everything falls
Yeah,
down.
she couldn't. She was holding the picture of
She
Oz, and she
couldn't do
couldn't
it.
do it.
She couldn't do it. Veruca comes in, and man, Veruca gives Willow a backhand to the face.
Yeah,
Hard.
Yep.
Woo! Yeah. Knocks her down. And then Oz comes in.
We got some cool CGI where he kind of morphs
It
halfway.
was so bad. It was so bad.
It was bad.
I was watching and Drew came in just as that was happening. I was like, wait a minute, back that up. You got to see this green screen effect where they like half wolf out, which we've not seen them do before. Like they can control it. They can half wolf out for enough time to like give each other a couple zingers.
And then they start fighting, full blown transformation, and Oz kills Veruca.
Yes. Yeah, but then he turns around and goes after Willow.
Yeah, but thankfully, Buffy is there with the trank gun and tranks him.
Takes him out with the trank gun.
Yeah, lots of crying Willow.
Yeah, yeah. Then we're at Giles's, and Buffy's telling him about what happened and also about the masked guys, which they're going to look into. And poor Willow is just broken.
Yeah.
We're at Oz's room, and Willow comes in, and he is packing and leaving. And she's like, don't I have any say in this? Which to me means, she wants to talk to him and come to some kind of closure, some resolution. But he's like, no, you don't. I'm leaving. You're not safe. It's not safe with me here, with this wolf inside of me.
When she said, don't you love me? A little bit.
I know.
It got to me.
I know. He kisses her on the forehead and he's out.
Yeah. Goes to his blue van.
He hesitates though, like for a minute or for a couple seconds. You're like, oh, maybe he's going to turn around. Oh, that's going to be the episode. He goes charging back in. No, he leaves.
He leaves.
Do, 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 do. do, 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 do. Yep. Gone.
Credits.
And then another one bites the dust. Yeah. The boyfriends are all leaving. How many stakes you give this episode?
I don't like what happened, but it was done well. I'm going 3.5.
4 stakes for Melly Mel.
Wow.
And the same evaluation. I didn't like what happened, but I thought it was good. They handled it well.
Yeah.
And it made me do this. No! Curses!
So what do you think is going to happen with Oz? Will he be back? Is Oz gone forever?
Well, we've already talked about that he was at least on one episode of Angel.
Yep.
So he must go see Angel now. But after that, is he gonna come back? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe in like flashbacks or something.
If that is the case, are you going to be okay?
Yeah, but if ever I meet him again, we're having words.
Okay. Him and his little nipples.
Yes, I'm going to speak to each one directly. And this is what I have to say to you.
All right. Next episode.
That's going to be on the highlight reel. I don't know how
the
computer picks the highlights of the highlight reel, but it always seems to pick me saying the dumbest things.
Oh, it's not the computer.
It's you. Okay.
The computer.
Well, you have an uncanny knack for picking the dumbest things that I say.
I try to pick the funniest, not the dumbest.
Okay. They're the same. A lot of times they're the same.
I've had it try to like pick them, and I'm like, that's not funny. No one cares about that. Stupid AI.
Yeah.
Next, we have season 4, episode 7, The Initiative.
The Initiative.
What is going on in The Initiative?
The Initiative. It's going to be a campus initiative.
Okay.
Campus-wide initiative. What's it about? It's going to be something that's going to be divisive between campus initiative to keep the townies off campus.
Okay.
And it's going to cause a rift between Xander and the group.
All right. Interesting.
Judging by your laugh in the middle of that,
Well, just the way you said it,
gonna happen.
keep the townies out. It's like, all right.
All right. Favorite line?
Favorite line? Oh. I think I'm gonna go with. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2. One, just funny, was Giles latte anyone. But the one that meant something was when they were Willow and Buffy were in their dorm when Willow was really hurt, and Buffy said, "I love you."
Yeah.
She didn't.
Oh, that was
She didn't
yes.
have to say
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Notable.
What about you? Yeah.
Mine is when Willow says, "Don't you love me?" and he says, "My whole life, I've never loved anything else."
Yeah. And I got to mention again, I know I said it earlier, but when Riley said, "Put the blame where it belongs, don't hurt yourself."
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't really gotten many memorable lines from Riley so far, but I like that one.
No, but boy, there's always a lot of crashing into or bumping into or like little violent outbursts surrounding Riley. He's always around when these things happen. It's very odd.
He's a big guy. He's pretty tall and pretty broad. So he's gonna run into him.
So you can see across town when something's about to happen, and he rushes in there and crashes into Buffy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like in the Fourth Wing series. So everybody who rides a dragon gets a power. They call it a signet.
Yeah.
And that's somebody. It's called Farsight. He can see very far.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I like it. Why don't we talk about our social media?
Sure. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at the Sunnydale Diaries. Also on Blue Sky at Sunnydale Diaries. We have a website, which I think I need to update a little bit, thesunnydalediaries.com, where you can get our 2025 PDF Jenny calendar, and you can get links to our episodes, and you can get an invite to our Discord server there. And we have an email address, thesunnydalediaries@gmail.com. Drop us a line. Tell us about your heartbreak.
Yeah. Tell us about your cheating stories. Tell us about your love for Can't Hardly Wait.
Such a
Were
good
you
movie.
in that movie?
You probably were.
Yes, yeah.
Anything else for Wild at Heart, Melanie?
That's all. I don't like it. I didn't like it. It made me sad.
All right.
Seth Green's hair stayed perfect the whole time. Wolf form back into regular form. His hair was perfectly spiked.
A lot of gel. It was
A lot of
crunchy,
gel.
I bet.
Studio line.
Yeah, or Depp. Do they have Depp in Florida?
Yes.
Lot of
Depp and Aquanet. Double duty.
All right, we will be back in 2 weeks. So that will be April 21st with The Initiative.
Mm-hmm. See you there.
See you there. Bye.
Bye.